The Vikings are officially a quarters team. At this point last year, we talked about Brian Flores' affinity for pressure. He blitzed NFL offenses over 60% of the time, utilizing what he calls hot quarters. Fast forward to this season, Minnesota is running quarters on 50% of their snaps. Flores has fully leaned into his new system, evolving it to stay too high regardless of the down and distance or call. Against the 49ers, he kept that too high shell to counter Shanahan's motions and shifts and create solid edges on either side of the box. Even his pressure package is based on a quarters look. Let's examine a sack by the Vikings that highlights how Flores is setting his defensive up for success with quarters as his main coverage. Last year, Flores had the highest blitz rate on early downs. Now, he's still doing the same thing or similar things on early downs, but he's doing it with a little bit more nuance. Last year, he was packing the box with a bunch of people, usually having Martellus work to an edge and then just blitz off the edge. There wasn't anything fancy inside, essentially just plugging gaps and then just sending a guy off the edge, usually with one linebacker. This year, he's actually running defense. So we have a five-man front. We have our two linebackers in the back, and then we have our 4 DB shell. So this is our 3-4 alignment. We're going to go ahead and give the look of a too high alignment. So we have 4 to a side. So initially from the beginning, what that is going to do is we are going to play cover 2 to this side. We're going to build a triangle. So this will be our triangle side. And then we're going to get a poach safety over here for anything that leaks out. So essentially we're going to lock this corner here. And then we're going to have this linebacker be our kind of hook player, any kind of slant. He's going to get vertical for any kind of dig. So in case they drain us out over here, we have some sort of vertical hook presence. That is essentially what that would look like in the Vikings quarter structure. Now, that's not what we're going to get. We're actually going to get a pressure. So Van Ginkel does a really good job of working back inside to kind of give the illusion that this is going to be pressure. The 49ers are going to actually motion their fullback back across. You can see Harrison Smith look to the corner to kind of signal, hey, we're doing this. This is going to be cover 2. So you're going to take the flat. I'm going to take deep. You can also see our safety up top. He's going to give a signal to the corner over here. The moment that we get him washed out, he's going to signal, hey, we're still running this. You're going to have cover 2. Now, what we end up getting that's a little bit different because we are sending a 5-man pressure, we're going to get a drop out by this. Now, I call this defensive end a grab me player. So let me go ahead and fast forward this through the motion. So you can see right here, this is where we are at the snap of the ball. So we have a horizontal push here that will be taken care of by the corner. He's going to play a soft squat, meaning that if we get a vertical, he's still going to tuck right inside on that low hip and let the ball bring him down. Harrison Smith is going to cap any vertical. So here's our cap to this side. We now have a 3-man dirty bunch on this side. We're going to get the back out. Now, what a grab me player means is that I don't need him running any kind of vertical column. I already have a linebacker here. He's going to be working this way. I am going to drain out the hook. I don't have a hook player, but I need somebody to take the flat, because what I don't really necessarily want, because I'm playing cover 2 and not quarters, he's still going to have to take the umbrella. So if I get a vertical by Kittle, I don't want my edge to be chasing that. I want him to go ahead and take the flat and let him soft squat this thing out, and then he can sit on any kind of vertical over here. Now, remember, we're going to lose this linebacker. He's going to be working here off of vision of the quarterback. So if his eye stays this way, he's going to hang right here in the middle. That gives you a little bit of a soft spot here, but we still have a corner and we still have a safety that can nail down on that, and we can still get a double team on that. So let's go ahead and let's work through this play. So again, remember, we're going to be sending this linebacker through this B gap. We're going to be moving this line this way, and then we're going to get a cop or a contained pressure here by this defensive end. The nice thing about this pressure path is that it simulates a traditional fire zone. We're just using the defensive end as the outside linebacker. So we actually have an outside contain, and then I'm working to the face of the tackle. You can see that we're going to get a full slide. So what we end up getting is slide lock. We have a nice gap here in the B gap. we're going to take that linebacker, we're going to run him through that left tackle and then dip into the B gap. That's going to leave our edge unblocked. So you can see right here on the preliminary where the quarterback has officially gotten his ball. He's about to get in his statue position into the pocket. You can see Van Ginkel's going to jam the defensive end. We have our linebackers shuffling to this hook area over here, and then we have our running back working to the flat. So Van Ginkel's going to get a hit call, meaning he's going to hit the tight end, and then he's going to fall off. We're going to get a vertical stem here by the receiver, and our corner's going to feather out. Look at our safety who is staying on top of the vertical of 2 and not necessarily working to the deep half. This isn't a traditional cover 2. We are running palms, or what is known as 2 read. I call this cloud. So as the play progresses, you can see Purdy is going to set up and he's going to look to his right. You can see that we have a corner over here. The hit call works really nice. We have our tight end who is stumbling. So as he goes vertical, that's where the safety is going to be. The one soft spot in this is the actual hook area. The problem is that because of the hit call and because our edge drops a little bit, he makes this really, really muddy. We want to be late to any kind of flat. So our grab me player is going to take this. Our corner is going to be on top. So if we get a quick strike to this side, we're going to be able to rally and make that play right there. Purdy sees that this is all muddy. He's going to look to the back. He sees that the back is taken by Van Ginkel and that we have a corner. He's going to hold the ball and try and work back to this dig. Well, if you notice, even if we didn't get pressure right here, our corner has taken the flat, our safety is on top of the dig, and our linebacker literally has walled this thing off. So we got our 2-for-1 here. The soft spot is actually right here. But the problem is because of the way the pressure was designed, he cannot throw that ball if he didn't throw it quickly. So you end up seeing he's stumbling. We're capped out here. Our corner's kind of in no man's land, but we don't want him to suction cup here because we could get something like this that attacks the sail route. We have Van Ginkel on the running back. And this is essentially how you can run 5-man pressures with quarters. And this is what they do. So you can see the left tackle now is occupied with this, and there's no one for our defensive end. So even though the perception of there are open receivers. So you can see here, Debo is wide open. The problem is if he doesn't throw it right now, this is not a clean look. These quarterbacks are not laser point accurate in terms of what they're seeing. They're looking for patterns. They're looking for color. There's a flash of color right here. He doesn't necessarily know that Van Ginkel's working the wrong way because he's got a shoulder square. So instead of taking this right here to Debo, he's going to hold the ball and try and pivot back. And what ends up happening here, our defensive end goes. Even if he does throw this ball right here, we're probably going to have our linebacker tackle him. He may spin out. We have Van Ginkel and we have our corner. So even though, let's say he does get the ball out, that we're going to go ahead and tackle it. We're going to play to live another day. Here's the thing about these pressures. You're doing it. You do understand that there are soft spots. This is the 3-drop area. This is where our Mike linebacker would have been pushing because then we would have a flat, we'd have a hook, we'd have a cap, and we'd have a cap. So we would have essentially built a box. That's what quarters is. On this side, you see that we have our nice triangle over our 2 receivers. So we're taking care of that. This is our 2 read side. So this is our quarters coverage with 5-man pressures. Let's run it all the way back to the very beginning. So here we get our nice little just will dog through the B gap that simulates a fire zone. We get our single guy off the edge. Our hit call delays the tight end, muddies the read for the quarterback. We're covered on the backside, plus that's where the pressure's coming from. He pump fakes the ball and gets taken down by our edge. So again, hesitation spells death in the NFL. These quarter pressures do a really good job of not only, hey, we've got quads, we're set up to handle it. We can still send him. I'm going to poach. You basically lock this out. Okay, now we get 2-by-2. Hey, we're running palms over here. We're running palms over here with a soft squat corner, meaning that the defensive end is actually going to take any push. That's exactly what we get. Hit with a push. The soft spot's here, but it doesn't matter because guess what? the defensive end makes a sack. This is a great example of the pivot that Flores has made to running quarters pretty much full time. Over 50% is what we're at through 2 weeks. This is how he can then, schematic fluidity. If we can run quarters in base, we have to be able to run it behind our pressures. This is something the Chiefs have been doing forever. A lot of teams studied the Chiefs this offseason, and this is the kind of thing that you're going to see. So trend alert here coming from match quarters. This is a Vikings running a 5-man pressure with quarters behind it, and it goes for a sack.